What would you do if you found undeniable evidence that the universe is just a simulation and you were the only one who knew? There's an argument that if people in a simulation figure out that they are in a simulation, then it could ruin the purpose of whatever the simulation is being run for. And it'll just be turned off. So keep quiet. Edit. Here's a paper on this by Preston Green. For those interested, https://philpapers.org/rec/greddor-5. I heard about it via this Robert Wright interview. https://meaningoflife.tv/videos/42317. Level up. With that information, there's not much you could change. We're still here. We still experience pain. And so do others, unless everyone else was an NPC. That would change everything. It might affect the way some people view the afterlife. But it shouldn't really change anyone's actions in any way that I can think of. A real realist realizes reality really isn't real. Assume I was insane and go to a doctor. Probably. I will try to tamper it to give me a bigger. I would do nothing. I'd let everybody live their lives as normal. If it's my personal simulation where only I exist, I do whatever I want. If it's a simulation in which other people exist inside of, not much aside the norm, what we feel inside this hypothetical simulation is undeniable. Along with the pain governs what we choose pursue or avoid. Would I try and break out? Maybe the simulation is better than reality. And if that's the case, what is there to do aside accepting that the universe is simulated? And making the most of it. Maybe reality is not existing within the simulation. Find the console and enter. Single quote. Backup server, 0.100%. Toggle_dinosaurs 1 toggle_mythical creatures 1 set game mode Hunger Games. Edit OMG my first ever Reddit gold, thank you so much. Nothing. It'd still be programmed to be jaded and lazy. I'd try to discreetly find a way to tamper with it. To control it. But if that fails I'd just go on my life as normal. Unless I could also change or affect the simulation in any way. Then I guess I do nothing. Knowing it would not change it. As implied by your post, I was the only one who knew, it would also mean everyone still dies. And has feelings. Nothing really changes. If I knew I was the only real person then I would become a lot more selfish. Try and figure out who is running it. Play through it all and finish the game like a boss. I stop putting pressure on myself and I do whatever I want without worrying about the consequences. I already have big plans. I will constitute a harem with the most beautiful men of the planets. Just to watch them parade and bring me my breakfast in the morning when I get up and my herbal tea in the evening before sleeping. They would be responsible for depilating my body with tweezers and transporting me on a palanquin. That would be the good life. Go and be a wizard. Re-roll my character. Hack the planet. I would do something lethal. Like jump off a building. I would then wake up in the lab they put me in to simulate the universe. And find out that it isn't 2020. It would be 3167. And 60% of the world's population was wiped out by COVID-19 back in 2020. The remaining parts of humanity have gone to space. And the reason they took people and simulated their life was because everyone from 2020 had died from old age. And the events that took place were lost in translation. However, an old history book from 2022 was found and implemented into the simulation to find out what happened. Show the proof to a scientist. Nothing. People wouldn't care enough to believe anyone about that. Imaging the news headlines, local citizen claims to have found evidence that the universe is only a simulation. Or crazy local thinks they've found evidence that the world is a simulation. Would you click on that article? If you would, then do you think the news would actually write down what you say and not make their very own adaptations on the story? Or try to portray you as being mentally ill? The media twists stories and sometimes the news also twist the story to make it sound more interesting. If you tell a relative or friend they also might think you're mentally ill and unfriend or send you to a mental institution. Then your story will become a joke among the workers. Because how will you prove that you're not making it up? If you could provide the evidence and you told the media, you might be investigated by the government. And then if they can't find any source of how you've obtained the information, their only choice would be to silence you and dismiss the allegations by deleting all traces of the real evidence and replace it with some obviously fake evidence, as if to play off the case that you were just crazy. So if you just keep what you know to yourself and try to live a peaceful life, all will be well. But you'd need to destroy the evidence during your lifetime so that it's never found, because if it's found, then you're going to have a bad possibility of scenarios that are going to occur. Doctor. I wouldn't tell anyone. The government might try to silence you. The media would try to make you sound ill. And your family and friends would most likely ostracize you. I would tell my close friend. Assuming I'm an NPC. I'd start looking for glitches. Or I'd find the main character and follow them all the time to become immortal. Up, up, down, down, left, right, B-A. Question mark. Profit. Step 1. Find out how to program. Step 2. Find out how to screw with the simulation. Step 3. Program things to be better or worse. Step 4. Try to escape simulation or find out what purpose the simulation was for. Step 5a. If the outside world has been destroyed, causing all humans to have to escape into a virtual world. Then stay within the simulation. Tell a few people. And take over the world. Step 5b. If the outside world is perfectly fine and this is some sort of weird experiment, free other people or the test subjects, as it's unlikely that reproduction can make full human bodies in the real world. And depending on my own status, either live out life outside the simulation, leaving the information of the simulation to the other programmed humanoids, or stay within the simulation and take over the world. Step 6. Live a casual normal life and use my programming abilities to make my life just a bit easier, teleporting to work, making food out of thin air, having a better body or whatever. ECT. There's a show on Hulu called Devs with Nick Offerman. Finished it today and then saw this post. Anyone who is intrigued by this question should check it out. Absolutely sod all. This is the only reality I've ever known. And even if it turned out to be a simulation, it's still reality. I'd probably re-enter an existential crisis I've already had over this theory. Probably do nothing. I'm a stoic, so if it is a simulation and I am just one of the NPCs, I cannot do anything about it. If there's nothing I can do about it, then I should not worry about it. If I do not worry about it, it will not cause me pain. Me telling doesn't help a single person. It would only cause mental anguish in others. Kill myself. Walk around the streets wearing a sandwich board, stating this fact. Be like Sans. Deus. Just because I know it's a simulation doesn't mean I'd know yet how to mess with it. So, that would be my first task. Finding out how to use this to my advantage. Simulation or not, jail sucks. But if I could figure out how to recode, or change responses somehow, then the world is mine. Of course, I'd have to try to figure that out without accidentally simulating the response of a simulated psych hospital. Reprogram my life to be better. I'd look for exploits and cheat codes, for the sake of having fun. I would ask on Reddit. Probably have a TBH. Why do I get the feeling that you figured it out? And now you need to know what to do. Well, fear not, my child. I'd name my son Robert. Drop table people.